Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of a new series that is going to be completely dedicated to colors. So, I've had a lot of questions on how I go about creating my color palettes, and are there rules that I follow, and basically, how do I do it? So, I thought it'd be interesting to take some time and cover this whole topic in a bunch of different tutorials. So, in this first episode, we are going to talk about strictly the color palette. So we're not going to talk about characters, not going to talk about environments, none of that. It's only how to create a nice color palette. And this can be applied, obviously, to a bunch of different things. So I think it's a really good starting point. So let's go ahead and see how this is done. Alright, guys, so as you might imagine, coming up with a palette in itself isn't really hard. You just select a bunch of colors and put them together, and you can call that a color palette. What's a little bit harder is to come up with interesting colors that work well together and that are in a ratio that is pleasing to the eye. So that's a whole lot harder. And I have a bunch here that I've created previously, and let me try and explain how these work. So each of these bars are basically individual color palettes. So this is the first palette, this is the second one, etc., etc. And how these work, basically, you have the first third of the bar here that is going to be the main color, and you have the 2/3 remaining that are split in three parts, and those are going to be the secondary colors. And at the bottom here, you have the accent colors. Okay, now how do I create one of those palettes? I've I've come up with a pretty simple way to get something that's pretty decent for a result. So the way I do it is I have the chromatic circle here. So those are all super saturated colors. Um, you might not want something as saturated, but just for the purpose of this, since I have what 6 out of the 8 color palettes up there that are fully saturated colors, let's go ahead and just select one of those. So I'll try to get a color that I don't have up there, maybe something like this. So turquoise. And now we're gonna select the grayscales that I have here, and those are just 3 different shades of gray, and you can have different intensity if you want. Just those are just you know random, basically, shades of gray. You can have lighter ones, darker ones, doesn't matter. Those are good enough for now. So we're just gonna hit Control B, and then it's gonna bring up the color balance. So we're gonna find again the color we selected. So it's somewhere around here in the chromatic circle, and what we want to do is go either direction towards its opposite color. So as I say towards, because we're not going to go all the way to that opposite color because it's going to look weird. We want to stop right a little bit before. So maybe go like 2/3 of the way and then stop, and then try to aim for that colors for the secondary color, if that makes any sense. So for this one, we have turquoise here. The opposite color would be reddish pink. So we're going to stop a little before. If we go from that direction, so it's going to be orange. And if we go from the other direction, it's going to be kind of purple. So let's go and go for more of a warm palette. So in this case, we're going to tilt towards orange. So let's go ahead and do that up here. More red, more yellow. You can play with the shadow as well until you get something that's nice. Alright, and then I can go ahead and tweak the contrast so my colors are a little bit more different than and then bring down the saturation just a bit. And a little bit more yellow. There you go. And that's pretty good. So if I were to work with this color palette, I'd be pretty happy. It's kind of a retro looking one, but it works well together. And now if I just select my accent colors, what I would do for this, I would always inspire yourself from the colors you already have, so that to make sure that as a whole it works well. So here I have very desaturated, what is this color? Kind of a yellow orange-ish. So you can select either of these and then just go up, saturate it as much as you can, and there you go. That's one accent color. and you can do select the main color and then maybe go up or down just a little bit and keep it like very saturated, and then use that as another accent color. There you go. And then, you know, of course, blacks and whites always use, they always work well. So if you're running out of ideas, you can use one of those. So why not? Just go ahead, select our white, and there you go. This is a pretty good color palette. And as I said, I'd be pretty happy to work with this if I were to, you know, colorize the character. Now, what not to do. As you can see here, I have my main color that's really saturated. The other colors are not too saturated, and then the accent colors that are just way out there. But those don't really matter, to be honest. If I were to do the opposite now, you'll see what I mean. So let's say this is my main color, and then my secondary colors. I'm gonna go Control B, Control Balance, and then tilt those to the orange still. So the same in the same area. But I'm gonna saturate the hell out of those. Alright, now you can imagine that you have your painting, and then your focal point is this saturated blue, and then the rest of the painting is those super saturated yellows. I mean, clearly this is not gonna be a desirable result. So this is gonna be it for today. We came up with a pretty nice color palette pretty easily. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.